Hi all and welcome to our Microsoft Ignite 2024 AI recap. That's great that we are all here online with Saeed, Jose, Priyanka, and also Rafael will join us in a few minutes perhaps. We will see this one directly from the AI recap and also from the highlights directly from the Ignite. And welcome guys, how are you?
I'm good,
Hi,
thanks.
Alex. It's great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yep, excited to share the Ignite announcements.
That's great. Thank you very much for joining. So first of all, we have to introduce ourselves perhaps. So Said, would you like to start?
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
sure.
course. Oh,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
um, so I'm Zaid. I'm an MVP from Germany. MVP for M365 and mixed reality. And I started playing around with AI since spring, and I totally fascinated by all the exciting tools and opportunities Microsoft is providing to leverage our AI solutions. Um, so that's me in a nutshell, and I'm also I lead the global AI community chapter of Berlin, and I'm happy to share some updates as well on that. And there's really cool stuff we want to share with you, as mentioned by Priyanka from Ignite.
That's great. So who will be the next one?
Priyanka.
Priyanka, please go on.
Thank you. This is Priyanka here, and I am also, an Azure AI MVP, joining you guys today from Australia. And like Zaid, I lead the global AI chapter for both Singapore and ANZ region. For Microsoft announcements, and glad to be here, guys. We have had a lot of fun at Ignite. All of us, we met each other in person in Chicago last week, and we are excited to share some of the good stuff which we found, some of the private preview, some of the public preview which is going to come. So yep, over to you, Alex.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm IVP from Council from Germany and happy to be here. We met last week with Rafael, Said, also Priyanka. A lot of other MVPs was there, and there were a lot of insights also from Microsoft taught us and Ignite. And happy to be here. Jose, back to you.
All right. So I'm Jose. I'm a AI MVP. I'm passionate on agentic AI and semantic kernel, LinkedIn author, and I was the only one here that was not in Ignite because I was in a hackathon in Köln in Germany, partially helping organize it. Yes, should see here part of the staff. So I was working, but I hear a lot of things and recap everything. So I'm fully ready to help this fantastic group of 5 persons deliver this summary in 1 hour, right, Alex?
Yes, thank you very much.
Cool.
Now, Rafael, the last but not least.
Last but not least, thank you very much. Long time no see, my friends.
2 days.
2 days. So jet lag time. My name is Raphael Kölner. I'm study law, and I'm the compliance, data privacy, and preview guy. And I'm very happy to be here because, like Satya said, PureView is one of the product of this Ignite 2024. I'm very happy that I'm be here, and I'm talking about the new PureView stuff and news. And I'm working for Microsoft PureView product team for lab sessions, and was 2 days at the Microsoft booth to answering a lot of questions. So yeah, let's start with a summary.
That's great. Thank you very much. So we will start with Said perhaps on Azure AI Foundry. So Said, that's your turn. We need to go somehow 15 minutes each speaker. So the stage is yours. You can present, please.
Great. Thank you very much. Let me share my screen here.
Sure.
Entire screen. Okay, you just let me know if you can see
Yes.
the screen. Okay.
Yes, we can see.
Great. So, like again, for a quick introduction, so I'm Zaid Zaim. I'm MVP from Berlin. I am primarily contributing currently for Azure AI. I'm also at the moment M365 and mixed reality MVP. So all of these, let's say, some people refer to them as alien technologies. So like mixed reality and so on. So as an MVP, I love engage with developer and tech communities locally and globally, travel around the world and bring Azure AI and really cool tech to tech and developer audiences. For those interested becoming MVP, so you can always reach out to us. We do really fun and cool work, which we very much recommend to everyone in this round. So yeah, as we teased previously, we all have been at Ignite earlier this year, last week. Sorry, uh, and it's a really cool opportunity. So it's basically an opportunity where we had also the chance to interact closely with Microsoft, connect with engineers, with leaderships, and experience Ignite live in Chicago. And we were also very happy and proud that Global AI community had a strong presence in there. So Alex, Raphael, and I were among a few other MVPs selected to share a little bit about our story and journey on Global AI community. And we were also actively supporting as experts within the Meetup expert area on various topics. And for me, it was more on the Azure OpenAI service side and Azure AI Foundry, previously Studio. Exactly. And here, like the takeaway. So if you have the chance to go to Ignite or go to Build in person, give it a shot. So it's definitely worth it. Alone, like building up the connections and the experience there is really, really valuable. So I only actually have one slide about Azure AI Foundry, and I would like later to dive into a small demo on it.
Oh, we can discuss this slide. There's a lot to tell about this.
Oh yeah, so we can like ping pong if you want, Alex.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
personally, I was like Azure AI Foundry to me was a really cool announcement because a lot of people thought somehow it is like a rebranding of AI Studio, but it's not. So AI Foundry is more like the platform that Microsoft is enabling to unify all of their AI services and platforms on. So in the like previously we had Azure AI Studio, Azure OpenAI Studio, and Azure AI services, and now they are like all of them unified in Foundry. So here we can also directly access the model catalog, directly access Azure OpenAI service, Azure AI services, and also like the Azure AI content safety. One of my favorite parts here, like when it comes to the model catalog, for example, you can always like take different models and and compare them with each other directly in real time, and then choose the one that is accordingly that meets your needs. Additionally, like this is like as Satya mentioned also in his keynote, Visual Studio, GitHub Copilot Studio are the most beloved developer tools worldwide, and I can't agree more. So and these are like fundamentally supported within as well within the platform. So additionally, like within Foundry, there is also the opportunity, okay, if you have like a deployment of an AI model, you can also have a direct reference and see, you can get a code reference directly and see how you can like implement it directly within your demo or your solution. So you have really direct references on the fly to really start building your your models. It also we saw also a lot of momentum that also like enterprises and industry leaders also joined the race here. So we saw that industry models, for example, are supported. Like there are like some educational institutes or healthcare institutes that are also providing their models to support other other people on the platform. So one of these models that got my interest mostly was the one of the DNA company, where they do like some sort of analysis and they pretend in which direction a person is heading with his health in the future. I think this was extremely interesting. Exactly. And Alex, can you tell us a little bit more maybe on evaluations, Azure AI Agent Service and Azure AI Search? Which were
Yeah, sure. We can just discuss this slide, or perhaps also do another slide. So I can also put this one on Azure AI Foundry just to discuss with you what is exactly inside. So you have, of course, mentioned the new collaborations here. That's really cool that you have a lot of different industries that are joining with their models. They provide information. They can do a lot of stuff for their own, also customers and so on. What we are also get here is the great integration that you also said from the side, from the data sides, from ingested data. So you can just going for Microsoft Fabric or your Azure SQL databases. You mentioned Azure AI Search. Azure AI Search is one of the products or also technology stack from the technology stack that was already there. So we first introduced this one already 2 years ago, 1.5. I don't know if perhaps last build. We have built a lot of deployments on Azure OpenAI services, of course, and then doing some RAG and also searching for data on SharePoint, for example, SharePoint Online or storages and so on. So doing the chatbots and then provide information. Okay, they are stored somewhere else. Just going to the search, do some information retrieving there, and provide information to the end user. So on the RAG base. If we are going to watch after the Foundry again, though it combines not only the data side, so also integration. That's what I liked also most to discuss with you. Of course, to the Copilot Studio. So we are somehow on a low-code, no-code platform, but also on our somehow developer perspective. So on the Azure Foundry, there's also integration. We will discuss this later on semantic kernel and so on. That will be Prankar and Jose topic later. You see on the right, there are a lot of frameworks that are already here inside. We have the connections there. What is new is functions. So we can also use logic apps. There are 1,400 logic apps we can use here. So you have a boundary, somehow a new unified platform that combines everything what we have done earlier. So back to the slides that we have seen 1 minute ago. It was this one. You see a lot of Azure OpenAI services, of course. What we have already mentioned at not the last build, but the build before, so 1.5 years before, built a lot of services there. Also, Said, you have built your drone on Azure OpenAI services. How was it working for you? Would you like to do this one also on Foundry?
Totally. Like I can show a quick demo of it later. So basically, what I'm currently doing is using Azure OpenAI service to do like simply gesture detection. So you put on a VR headset, for example, and then you do certain gestures, let's say a like or rock or something, and this get detected by the service, and then accordingly I can trigger in my app a certain function that makes the drone fly accordingly. So back in the days, we used to use, for example, Azure Custom Vision or so, and then like train a model, train it on certain tags and pictures. So now out of the box, like Azure OpenAI service can detect directly, depending on the system message, for example, and the prompting you give it, like you can directly like recognize or do it much more faster.
Okay, great. So
I also have like, I just wanted to briefly walk through Foundry. So one of my like show it live quickly.
do you want to share your slides?
Yeah.
Or Foundry?
Yeah. I just want to show the platform directly live here. So like everything begins here by just going to Azure AI.azure.com, and you create a project here. So in this case, as soon as you create a project, for example, you get also certain resources created on certain Azure services created in this case. So to help you get started with Foundry. So in my case, so this is like the model catalog we have. So you have really huge options on different catalogs that you can use and compare, and depending on your needs and things you want, basically you can adapt accordingly.
Sure.
So this is also like the code approach we mentioned. Like you have also direct resources provided, also like providing like a guidance how to get started to different topics. And I believe like in the next like very soon, these will be like extended to different scenarios and cases. Like content safety is also very like a very important topic, and in this case, it's also like a UI supported. Like basically in the content filters, you can create filters in this case, like keywords to prevent, for example, prompt injection and jailbreaking into your app. And one of my favorite demos here was to check out this real-time audio playground, for example. So this is one of the things that we saw lately in different demos, that okay, these AI models, when we talk to them, are really becoming, let's say, human-like, and they react to us in a human-like feedback. And this is really enabled by this GPT-4o real-time preview. So we can also I think I'm not sharing my audio. Let me do this again.
Sure. We have one question in the chat about a lot of those services can be used without using Foundry and Hubs project and so on. Do you see the changing, so they basically have to go from Foundry to access the services and so on? You can just imagine this time we had our Azure OpenAI service. We can put it there. We have Azure AI Studio earlier. We can put also our services there. You can still use these services, however, without Foundry. But Foundry is the next step, unified platform that if you do your projects in the Foundry directly right now, you have, as Priyanka already she said, that will be a curved first approach. So you have your SDKs. We will show this in a few moments, and then you have something like you have your integration in whole different every time working possibilities to go to each of your studios you like. Copilot Studio, for example, from this side, if you are a low-code, no-code person, you can go as a developer from the Visual Studio side and just grab your services and perhaps going there and provide the whole stuff and development stuff.
Yeah. So let's have a quick look on the real-time audio demo. So I already created a deployment model previously for
Said,
GPT-4.
just be aware of one thing. If you try that without a headset, it probably will not work because it will hear himself. So when it's speaking, it will interpret that as an interruption. Just saying.
Correct.
Oh,
So I would not do that with your
okay,
current audio
perfect.
setup.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also we need to mention that 15 minutes, I think, are already done,
Over?
and we
Oh,
need to
okay.
move to the next
Sorry for that.
session. So
Good.
we will
Yeah,
talk
that's
a lot now about the next step, also
great.
providing the information about what is inside there. We mentioned this earlier already. So we have here something on Azure AI Foundry called Semantic Kernel, AutoGen, and so on. So let's talk about Semantic Kernel and Agentic AI. And Priyanka and Jose, the stage is yours.
Thank you. So I like to ask you, gentlemen and ladies, first one question. Did you realize about the strategical alignment that was announced in a blog? I don't think there was a session about the strategy of AI in Microsoft, but I think this is really, really relevant and it's fantastic news regarding semantic kernel and AutoGen.
Absolutely. And I'm posting the link to that article. Maybe you can put it in the channel there. But yeah, while Jose, you're talking about that, I pasted the link for our audience to actually read
Sure.
it later.
Yes, but summarize, it's very easy. See, it's something I've been like complaining, work together, and Microsoft is too big. Sometimes they don't collaborate, but this time they started to do that, to collaborate. So the semantic kernel and AutoGen team have aligned, which is fantastic in the Microsoft history, and they are going to first develop semantic kernel and use it as a core in AutoGen to develop it further. They still will go along their goals. So AutoGen for once is experimental framework. It will change. It will have ranking changes every now and then. It will be completely changing a lot of times, but it is being aligned with its version 0.4, so it can use semantic kernel at its core for agents and process oriented to events and graph, which is fantastic. And on the other side, semantic kernel will just implement these changes so AutoGen can build on top of that. Priyanka, correct me if I say something which is not wrong or incorrect.
No, absolutely right. And one of the questions which audience was repeatedly asking was, "Hey, if I have my current, AutoGen projects, what should I do?" So semantic kernel now offers compatibility with AutoGen as well. So if you see, your existing AutoGen projects can be seamlessly integrated into semantic kernel processes as well. So they have given that schema compatibility to interconvert your projects between AutoGen and semantic kernel, and it's a powerful orchestration which they have given, right? So you can use the framework and the power of semantic kernel to build your agentic AI with tools and plugins, and then use the AutoGen orchestration to then seamlessly have interaction between your different agents.
Mm-hmm.
And while that is the sort of code first approach, I also like the agentic AI they have introduced in the Foundry itself. So we had this open AI assistants earlier. Now they are calling it as agents, Azure intelligent agents.
I think
So
it's Azure AI agents.
yeah, edge agents. Absolutely. Yes, yes. So this is also a fantastic feature, right? For people who are not too much conversant with using code first approach. This is again a good way for them to start building their intelligent agents.
I completely agree. Also, this works fantastically well with what Alexander mentioned before, which is this logic apps integration. So this works fantastically well. So they can be extended greatly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. And if you see, right, these Azure AI agents now, they have connections with so many data sources. So they can connect with SharePoint, they can connect with Bing search, they can connect with your own files, Azure AI search, and they can also connect to Fabric, which is, I think, a great value add, right? Like you can have your data, which is structured data on Fabric, and then agents will be able to connect to Microsoft Fabric as well. And they are also able to take a lot of actions. So you can create logic apps, you can create Azure functions, you can create custom functionality. So I think the kind of functionality this is going to offer is huge. And one of the biggest takeaways for me from Ignite for Azure AI Foundry was this particular service, although it's in private preview as of now, but it is going to be GA, I think, mid of December. So I think this is one of the features to watch out for.
I completely agree. I think this is fantastic because you can deploy your agents in the cloud and then they can scale and you can deploy them as much as you need and integrate that with your workflows. As if they are in Azure, you have an SLA, right? It can be 95, 99, or even bigger, depends. So I think that has a lot of power. Also, one thing which I like is, I don't know if you are aware of the change that happened mid of the year, preparing for this moment. Now I can talk. Now it's no longer a secret, right? So Mats Volaris was a GM or GMO, I think, of Semantic Kernel, and he moved basically to create the Azure AI Services team, which I think it's everything kind of, they have a plan, it's coming together, and it's very nice to see this happening, right? And also that Mats Volaris is there means that they are completely and fully aligned with the Semantic Kernel team, which is what we will use in our business applications. So that's one thing that you mentioned. I think it's important to reinforce the topic that AutoGen is for experiments, and if you want something in production, you should use Semantic Kernel.
Correct. Exactly. And I think, one of the announcements which I really liked, but after coming back from Ignite, was the M-Agentic Generalist Multi-Agent, right? So have you read about it, Jose? The M-Agentic Generalist Agent?
I'm all into agents. So yes, I've been playing with AutoGen in .NET. I've been playing a lot with Semantic Kernel. So I covered that part in a course I have in LinkedIn with the previous version, because we had like 2 different versions of agents that had breaking changes so far, and it's not yet stable. So the agent story is not yet released. And my thoughts is that what is really, really, really significant in Semantic Kernel and will be the future core, which will power Semantic Kernel in agents and AutoGen, is what is called the process framework, which was released like 6-7 weeks ago, like 1 month and a half, 2 months. And this is the way to go forward with agents. It's kind of very similar to LangChain, I think, which is based on graphs, so nodes and edges, and we can build any workflow with that. And in Microsoft, that's very well designed because we can put an agent there, like a tool used in one activity or one step, we call it at the moment. And then we can put business processes, and then we can use Orleans or Dapper to deploy that in the cloud. And that's super, super powerful for us and for Microsoft, because everything deployed in the cloud is, well, let's say it benefits Microsoft and us, of course.
True. Yes. And one of the interesting, again, repositories which is going to be released soon, it's not yet public, but it is going to be released soon, is also regarding an end-to-end DevOps pipeline for agents, right? So imagine you being able to create agents, monitor them, deploy them, and all of that it's nicely placed in one CI/CD pipeline. So that project also I had, because I was doing the booth with one of the Microsoft product teams and one of product team manager, and then one of the audience member, they had this question about, hey, what is going to happen with prompt flow, what is going to happen with prompty, and how are we going to make all of this come together. And that is where they showed us a glimpse of this particular repo, which is going to be open source soon. So I'm also looking forward to that how we can have an agent CI/CD.
Nice. I also would like to see proper orchestration and monitorization on that, but I guess this will be eventually covered in Azure Monitor. By the way, we got a question from Gert. So thanks, Gert. I hope I pronounced properly your name. Semantic Kernel Agent Framework Experimental now. Any idea how this will evolve to production readiness table? I don't know. I can figure out and give you estimation on my side. I know that the team is working really, really hard on the process framework, and I hope that this can be stabilized in between 2 or 3 months. So I would say that timeline. And you can also go to Semantic Kernel GitHub and check on the project. Everything is open, completely transparent. It's an open source project, so I'm not violating any NDA here. So you can figure out the different topics and how fast they are closing them, and it's a top priority for them now. So they announced as well they did production readiness table, the vector framework, so everything regarding memory, so you can implement RAG. This is now production ready. This is one of the biggest announcements for Semantic Kernel at Ignite. And I guess the next thing is agents, and this, I hope it will come with the process framework once it's stable, it's defined, and can cover all the different things that they want to cover, and it's a clear combatant for all, the AI wars that we're having that with AWS, with ItThink, Google as well, and also we have LangChain and LangGraph, mostly LangGraph on this. So I think it's going to be 2 to 3 months. What do you think, Priyanka?
Yeah. In fact, the blog link which we have pasted for Microsoft Agentic AI frameworks, that probably Gert, just have a look at it, and there it sort of gives you an overview, or at least a sense of the timeline at which they are looking at for a production ready version of Semantic Kernel. And they are saying that businesses should look at Semantic Kernel for production ready applications, and they are hoping to extend it with the Dapper framework and so on and so forth. So yes, you should see some announcements around those in probably the next 4 or 5 months before build, for sure.
Cool. Very nice. Let's see. I think things are going, and it's crazy to follow up with everything in AutoGen and Semantic Kernel, but definitely it's super exciting to be there and collaborating. If anybody has not checked that, and you are a bit into Semantic Kernel, I really recommend you check out the process framework. It's a really cool thing to do, and to my opinion, it's the future of AI and orchestration of AI agents. It's in a way similar to what you can do with LangGraph today, but I hope it will become something even better, because you can do any kind of processes. And given what you can do already with Semantic Kernel, you will be able to connect anything, maybe through Logic Apps, maybe through any other thing together, and chain everything together through agents as well, including normal process workflows, which I think it's super powerful.
Yeah. And Semantic Kernel process framework also has this concept of stateful agents with human in loop, which was not possible earlier, right? Like embedding that human in loop with agent state. So that is also a cool feature they have introduced. So it is going to mature a lot, right? And given that agents are going to be mainstream with the all the agentic RAG and agentic frameworks, I think these things are definitely to watch out for.
Definitely. So anybody here would like to say something in regards of agents, agentic AI, or AutoGen, or Semantic Kernel? Alexander, Said, Raphael?
Yes, for sure. I like the idea behind this one, because if you want to start right now, I will also show one slide more. Then you have your great intro there, and Microsoft also called this one, if you build Copilot, UI for AI. So we have something like this one. This is a front end. This is our user who is talking to the Copilot. Behind this one, we have Copilot Studio. Perhaps something that you have mentioned also earlier, if we are not developer there, but we have something like control system right now to manage all of these agents. And behind all of these agents, you can do it right now with the Microsoft 365 Agent SDK. So we have our M365 Copilot, is our front end. Then it's just going there and grounding on the Microsoft Graph, Fabric, SharePoint, whatever your knowledge and your data is. Then you have your orchestration. So for semantic kernel, you need to orchestrate all of the different agents. And on the agent intelligence, you can start, however, on Azure AI Foundry if you're building only one agent. So we talk about semantic kernel right now and also AutoGen. If you have several agents, you need the orchestration layer. And you see that you can start here directly on Azure AI Foundry and on the agent service, what I like the most, but also for the end user who is not a developer, you can also start on Copilot Studio and build there your agent and orchestrate the non-semantic kernel. That's huge because you have both sides, end users and also developers, providing their Copilots and using semantic kernel to orchestrate. That's cool. That's really cool.
I agree, and it's super powerful. I mean, basically, we're giving, I think it's to the citizen developer a lot of power with this. And if you need more power, you can always take a high-level developer that knows about AI,
sure,
and implement a custom agent that you can integrate into your Copilot Studio, which I think it's super powerful because one thing that you enable with us is to give focus to an agent to do one thing well done. And you can do that with us, according to what I read and I saw in some presentations, you can do it at any scale you want. It's super powerful. And you can do things as I'm sharing in the chat. This is an example I have, like you can have a panel of experts where they will review a document in the concrete implementation I have. And one will check the ethics, other will check, okay, the CEO, other will check, do we have the facts and see that everything is grounded, right?
Yes.
And you have only one for each thing. And
yes,
with that, you ensure with an agentic workflow that you can ensure that the output is perfect or near perfect. So you don't have to review it. An agent will do that for you.
Yes. I think the point is you do not build an agent for everything. That's not possible. So you have to specify the agents to do specific tasks, and then you can use whatever you want. So
Exactly.
I think, thank you very much, Branka, Jose. I would say we are going to Raphael because he needs only 15 minutes, 20 minutes left, but he needs every time 2 hours to explain the stuff. He has to talk a lot of it. I think he has to tell a lot to us. So Raphael, the stage is yours. Please welcome. We can't hear you right now.
Let me unmute me and
Perfect.
let me share my screen, and then we can start entire screen. And then we start with one of my favorite overview slides. And yes, I got the slides from the product group. I need to work at the booth, so I have all the slides from Microsoft PureView.
Perfect.
And I don't need 15 minutes. I'm faster now. So, Alexander, that you can make the end. I accepted this challenge. But at first, Satya Nadella said Microsoft PureView is one of the products of this Microsoft Ignite. So I'm very, very happy that Microsoft PureView is connected to AI and to all of what my friends here is telling you before, because Microsoft PureView is now GA for Copilot Studio. All of the Copilot Studio results, including your new models and everything, is supported by PureView products. So e-discovery, audit logs, Microsoft information protection, retention policy, all of this is supported. Moreover, this I totally like is, for example, when we are talking about data governance and retention policies, now you can put a retention policy of your Copilot interactions. So currently we have only the solution that you have to delete the Teams chat and also all communication, Teams chat and Copilot interactions together. Now you can split this and make a retention policy only on your Copilot interactions. So more and more of these functionality comes to Microsoft Pureview in combination with AI. And you see here my favorite starting overview slide, that Microsoft Pureview is a part of data security. So everything with Microsoft Information Protection, data loss prevention, and insider risk, where we have also in every part 2 to 5 new announcements. We have data governance, which means all of the retention data lifecycle and also the data governance in the data catalog. There we have only a few updates, but also updates too, in connection to Fabric especially. And then we have data compliance, which is also data lifecycle. You see it here. New announcement to the compliance manager, for example, for the German ones. We have DORA, one of the finance certificates now in our catalog. We have e-discovery, audits, and all of this. And in my time, let me go a little bit deeper. In this. And now I need to look, where is my slide deck here? A little bit deeper and show you a little bit more, because I'm so fascinated about this. I have 3 amazing new slides also I helped to create. And here you see that we have more and more functionality and more GA functionality, for example, with Copilot Studio. And what Microsoft did in the last weeks is more and more will be connected. So we have a connection now between data loss prevention, insider risk, communication compliance, and information protection. So the most hint is, please start and use information protection. Classify your data. Every of the protection that will come is connected to your data classification. That you prevent your data, that someone work with Copilot and work with, for example, other AI tools with your data, and you want to prevent this, you need to classify your data. So this connected also with DLP, with SharePoint site restriction, also with structured data in AWS, in SQL Server, and everything. And this means the adaptive protection scope. So please classify your data. And in this combination, we can protect and prevent also the data which will be proceed in Copilot or in other AI tools. So we have 3 or 4 amazing new announcements. The first thing I told you is the data DLP controls for Microsoft 365 Copilot. So in combination with labeling and DLP, you can prevent that, for example, me as an external use my Copilot to create prompts or results with your data. So this closes a gap in Microsoft Information Protection with DLP. Then we have the highly and most topic of oversharing and oversharing reports. So this is a very cool functionality that you said, okay, we don't want that anyone other is using Copilot or other AI tools to work with your data and get the information. So we have these 5 topics. Set your site to SharePoint site to privacy. Using the default one is not sharing to everyone, only in your company. You have now, and this is new, a broken permission incident report. So you see how much people has access to your file, to your site, to your Teams, to your OneDrive. And you can, with one click, you see what happened. And with one click, you can prevent and stop the sharing too. And we have, what is also new, we have a default label. So you put every file into your library, and all new files will be labeled, for example, with this confidential label. And in combination with this label, you prevent the processing of AI. And what is really new, and this is totally cool, with the new default label, you have, for example, 100 documents in this library. When you put a default label on the library, also all documents in the library will get the default label too. This was a very huge challenge and wish from the customers. Now it works. So this is totally cool. And in this combination, we had a limit from 25,000 automatically labeled files in a tenant per day. Now this rised up since yesterday of 100,000. So 100,000 files will be labeled with a default label or auto labeling functionality today. So this is really, really amazing that more and more files can be labeled now. And in combination with this, we have also the combination of insider risk management with AI usage detection. So we are using insider risk management, which, for example, you are using AI like Google Gemini that's not allowed in your company, and we can identify this and we can protect this. So the new announcement, and this is public preview, we can combine this also, and this is one of my also favorite things, we can combine it with Defender for XDR. So AI is protected by Defender for Cloud and Defender for Cloud Apps, and now we combine it also with Defender for XDR. So more products are working closely together, and this helps us most to do all of these things. And when I'm switching now, and I have to switch now to the other slide deck because I want to show you in the last minutes I have here the new DPSM, so the new AI Hub stuff. But let me switch here because I like it so much. The new, not DLP. I want to show you the new, where we have it here, the new hub, and here is its rollout starting next Tuesday. So in Aura 10, you will see the new AI Hub. This is a new data security posture management. Yes, it's a new name, a new longer name. I love AI Hub, but this is a new name. And in this new functionality, you see more reports. And I like some of these new reports very much and very hard, because now you see which data will be proceed. No, this is inside the risk manager, but you see which data will be proceed in which environment, and you can control which data will be shared in which environment and which interactions you have. You see it here. And then these interactions also ChatGPT, Microsoft 365, your own build custom or Copilot Studio AI tool, you see this interaction. And what I like in this area is you see, and you don't need insider risk or communication compliance to this, you see also the prompt. My slide deck don't want to skip. Now I want to skip, and you see here which is labeled, and you see at the end also the prompt and the result. Here you see also the prompt and the result. Also for third-party apps like ChatGPT, or also for Copilot and Google Gemini and everything. So you see what your user is doing here, which is the sensitive data in here. You have also the information, which file is labeled in which level, and you see the risk. So this is totally cool that now you see all of this information. And what is the last thing? And I can tell you, yes, 1 week about all of the news. The last thing is that we have these new reports, and these new oversharing reports and data assessment reports, which we are doing in the last months only with manual PowerShell scripts, is now in preview with the DSPM tool. And here you have some rules, and with these rules you can start scans and you can start your assessments. And these assessments, yes, definitely are a must-have for everyone. So for example, you see here your oversharing, how much files are labeled, which is a quality, so the sensitive information type. Please you create your own one. And you're seeing here also which is shared to which people. So who has access with his or her Copilot or with the other AI tool to your files. And in combination with this, you can make policies and restrict the label and combine it with data loss prevention and SharePoint restriction. Here you see, for example, this is a library with HR files, for example, personal files and everything. You can restrict it by label and with DLP, and also you can restrict the whole site. And with this assessment shows you which happens, and you also can do the full policies and the full restrictions and rules within these assessments. So at the end, and I'm going back to show you my last slide. And I'm looking for it now. This is available today. And you see here these announcements which are GA or in public preview now. So we have these DSPM management, we have the oversharing assessment, and other assessments. They have the DLP functionality, we have the preview and the audit logs extractions and updates. We have Defender for Cloud Apps and Defender for XDR, and we have more compliance functionality. So at the end, and this was also one slide, I stop and give it back to Alexander after 13 minutes or 15 minutes now. Together we can ensure that AI is safe for everyone, and this is the challenge and the goal now, to save AI together with PureView. So back to Alexander, and I'm in time.
No. You are not ready right
Okay.
now, because I have to show also the one sentence here. I like the demo because you have your Copilot Studio that we can start
Yeah.
here to build the agents. Then you see we have already our knowledge, perhaps, for one communication site from SharePoint. We are going to the channels, perhaps provided for Teams or another channels. And what you have mentioned earlier, if I'm not allowed to see something and I'm asking the chatbot to say to me something about the project Babylon, for example, then I get some information if I'm allowed, and then you will see right now, then we have here this confidential labels that Raphael was mentioned. Also, this one is the document, and if there's someone who is not allowed to see this information, then you can just grab there, and of course I'm asking the same, the Copilot is going on and say, okay, I'm not sure, blah blah blah, I'm not allowed to say. And this is a demo for DSP or DSPM, what Raphael was mentioned. I like the idea, you see the labels, you see the sensitive interactions and so on, and then you can figure out what is inside your Copilot, because earlier, perhaps 1 month ago, you have your Copilot, you have no idea what the user are asking there, what data are they going to grab, and so on. And this kind of reporting, I think that's really a huge state. So you have your agents, you have your Copilots, and then you have Raphael topics inside there on Defender, of course, for security, and for Purview for data security. So Purview is not even, I don't know, Raphael, perhaps you can correct me, but it was earlier something only for compliance. However, now it's huge tool for
correct.
a lot more than only compliance stuff.
Yeah, before it was only compliance stuff, data privacy stuff, all of the unlovely topics of everyone. Now with now with the integration into Copilot Studio, into these bringing from AI Hub to the new hub, you see more information and can control it. So at the end, governance, and from governance to bring AI to a safety usage. And it must be also a part of every product. And so at the end, please classify your data.
Yeah, you have seen this also on the Teams. If we're asking something and the data will be then giving to you back, you see what kind of labels are there. So that is also new feature. So I like this one really the most, because you have also a lot more, of course, AI reportings there, but it's another topic right now. So this somehow it makes a great picture together.
Yeah, but last sentence, but we are missing also something. So, for example, at content safety, and we see it in the first slide of you're showing, for example, at content safety, I'm missing a whitelist. So I was at the booth and said, okay, also we'll talk with you. We need a whitelist to set, okay, please, we have some words that are allowed and that are not blocked. To use in my own AI tools, and that's also one. Content safety AI is a very good tool. Please use it and integrate it in your customized and own AI functionality.
If you're talking about whitelisting, Microsoft provides a lot of features to blacklist everything. And also for another services, for example, for Exchange Online and so on, there is a lot of for blacklisting, but the whitelisting, if you want to do a whitelisting, that is not so easy. It depends on what we want to whitelist. That's not only this topic. So perhaps, of course, there's a lot of things to do there, but it's somehow a good way we are going right now. So, last but not least, I think there are a lot of things you have to mention also from the Ignite. There's a huge book of news. So if you are going to look for, we have only 1 hour of time, and thanks for joining us for this one. But you have already, as Satya mentioned this in the keynote, there's a Copilot news, Copilot devices, Copilot AI stack. So there's a lot of things you can grab then. The Microsoft provides us a lot of information here just to think about AI on front-end side, of course, how to deploy them, how to get reasoning and planning, and also on the memory and context, how to do their agents in the right way, I think. And I like the sentence, Copilot is the UI for AI. I think that is the great ending of this session. And guys, Frank, thank you very much for joining. We have a lot of stuff, of course, to do there, but Priyanka Shah, AI MVP from Australia, thank you very much for joining. Raphael Kölner from Cologne, from the Germany city, Said also from Berlin, from Germany, and Jose from Zurich, from Switzerland. And that was really cool. Yeah, we did this one together. We had a lot of fun last week at the Ignite, and yeah, see you soon in a few weeks and months, perhaps at the MVP Summit or also Build. Let's see, and yeah,
So
enjoy this time.
before that, we'll also have the Global AI Bootcamp in March, right?
Yes, Said, you wanted to mention this one, call to action. Please go on.
Yes, so we are planning to across the globe host Global AI Bootcamp. It's an opportunity where global AI community members and leaders can come together and in a similar way as we are chatting today, have like different sessions on AI to basically learn, grow, and upskill together. So we had really great examples in the last few months and currently also ongoing with the AI days. So we want to basically increase the impact of this approach with the bootcamp approach.
That's it. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for all the speakers, and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Cheers.
Ciao, ciao.